multiplier effect of this is going to be profound in our system.
Mr. Bradley, let me give the next question to you. You're an eminent leader in logistics and have spent almost two decades or more in Asia, particularly in Singapore and China. What does Indian corporations have to do to become more competitive or even leapfrog their competition as we go forward?
I think, we look at interesting figures. Having spent a lot of time in China, the VAT issue was raised. And China had the same thing. Each province had blockage in how product moved. So what you did is you built a lot of warehouses. A competitor to Reebok, and I know you're building very creative solutions here in India now with your vision, but Nike had 370 warehouses in China. And once the taxes between the provinces was eradicated, they have 2 hubs that feed 110 cities. I think this is about to happen to India. As the VAT comes in, we're building warehouses all over the country today that don't have a value in 3 or 4 years from now. I think the challenge isn't to replicate what everyone else is doing, it's to create new radical concepts that allow you to build a dynamic supply chain. So I think in the next few years, through logistics hubbing, free trade warehousing zone parks, railway networks, and playing to the strength of India, which is IT. Why don't we have visibility of product in India when we're now the creators of most of the IT systems in the world? Today, out of nowhere, Arshia is now developing an integrated platform. Rail, FTWZ logistics parks, 3PL, 4PL, IT. I think that is the future of where India needs to go.
Thank you very much. Any comments to Paul's? Mr. Brem?
I think that somewhere on the logistics side, we haven't had enough people taking on entrepreneurship and making it into great big business models adapted for the Indian environment. So for instance, world over in warehousing, you would have the WMS system, but in India, it sort of doesn't exist. So somebody needs to look at it and say that, okay, I'm going to make a business out of this. There are enough brands, there are enough people in the Indian market, there's enough business to be had. Can I make a business model out of it? Can I make a central hub warehouse which I can lend out to 5 brands and run the WMS system for them, amortize it over 5 brands, and make a business out of it? So I think that somewhere, although India has been really at the forefront of enterprise, we've done many new things, many innovations. I think on the distribution logistics side, somewhere entrepreneurs are guilty, or businessmen have also been guilty about accepting the status quo and saying that this was a prerogative of the government, whether it is big-time private builders setting up colonies, setting up housing sectors and leaving the roads to the government to be done, whether it is power, whether it is logistics, whether it is the way people move. And I think that somewhere, the moment you have it privatized and the moment you have the spirit of enterprise coming in, especially in distribution, there's absolutely no reason why we can't be successful. And like you said, that, I mean, we are the entire IT design and information is sort of, it's made right here in this country. And there's absolutely no reason why we can't take that and make a business out of it.
You know, one reason Arshia, as a logistics company, they went to Singapore and they bought over an IT company. And then they shut it down and they moved all the people to India. Why shouldn't a logistics company in India own the IT and change and adapt that IT around the needs of India, which, as you both mentioned, is unique? And then take that knowledge and take it global. It plays to the strengths of India. I think these, again, are the trends of India taking control of its destiny and driving technology and integrated logistics. It should.
The reality is that you cannot look at logistics as a game of Lego, that you've got transportation, whether it's by rail, road, air, sea, whatever mode you use, or warehousing, then further distribution, secondary distribution, having visibility. It has to be looked like a stream. It has to be viewed as a stream rather than a game of Lego. And I think that is what is integration. And if somebody has a perfect view of how this whole stream moves and has the visibility of the product which is moving on any of those modes of transportation, primary, secondary, in the warehouse, and if you can send the product right in time to the customer to be consumed, you will see that integration is going to be the reason for product cost to dramatically come down in the hands of the consumer.